Hello. I'm doing some waffling today. Get my stuff set up. I forget how to do this. Oh, here it is. I can link that. Where's the live stuff? Live control room, that sounds about right. There's my chat. We're doing great here. We're doing great. There's my... Alright, we got it going. Alright, let's get some people in here. Alright, are we here? Is there people here? I don't know. Hopefully it's working. Let me go ahead and link some stuff here. Pow! Bam. 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 Whatever, good enough. Do we have people here now? We good. Hello, Thomas. What's going on? I have my pizza. So you can see. We're gonna have a pizza party and go over some of these teams. Just wait for some people to get in here, you know. Say hello in the chat, don't be nervous. And my water as well. Anyone feeling like Mew? Me bro, I'm feeling like Mew. You know what? We may as well put on some Poke Raps in the background, why not, right? I usually just go for this one, but let's see. Playlists? Here we go. And we can loop this. Yeah.
Mewing is a tongue exercise in which the tongue is rested against the roof of the mouth.
Oh my god, this is so
Some claim
epic.
can change the shape of one's jawline, although there is no evidence to support it.
Sometimes I feel like Mew, doing any single thing I put my mind to. Yeah, so fire. Yeah. So we're doing some power rankings. Good call on that, and we got our pizza as well. Alright, and then Darkrai said he might join me later. We'll see. Let's just go left from right, why don't we? Alright, Band Chasers. Historically an excellent captain duo, right? Genius and 100. I mean, 100's okay, right? he's in my chat, so I have to flame a little bit. But Genius obviously had a really great year in 2023. 2024 hasn't been quite as high for him, but still he's made back-to-back finals and stuff, you know. So I can't really knock him too hard for that. iPro, one of the greatest Gen 7 players of all time. So between these three, they have Genius, who usually likes to flex around a lot. You have 100, who will usually stick to a tier and then do pretty well in it. A lot of times Sword and Shield. And then iPro for Sun and Moon, so they got a lot of gens covered. High Jump Sean, unfortunately I do believe he is washed at this point. I think his best years are far behind him. No flame, but a little flame, you know what I mean? Now obviously he's an alright player, right? He does have peaks, but I don't know. There's a reason I wasn't paying 9.5 for him, and yeah. Kaif as well. 9k is a lot for this guy. I think he's a great guy. I'm not so sure how he really stacks up against the rest of the field here, though. I feel like these two are probably overpays in my opinion. Although I do like them as people, of course. In terms of playing Pokemon, I don't think it's quite the same caliber as the rest of the pool, necessarily. No, I haven't actually seen Kaif play in a while, so my info might be outdated. He might have gotten a bit better recently, but yeah, I have to go off what I know. And then Lux, this is my boy. I was actually quite interested in drafting this guy, but was not able to. Got outbid here because it was towards the end of the auction. This is not in draft order, it's by price order, so it's the end of the auction. I only had 7.5 left. I dropped the whole 7.5 on him and got outbid. It is what it is. FC, I don't know too much about this guy, so not really commenting too much about him. Like I said, Lux I do rate quite high. I think he's probably one of their better players, probably a starter. Michael Der Best, however that's pronounced. This guy, probably 6k is a steal, honestly. This is where this is a great pickup, I think. I think he's I saw something top 2 in Worlds his first try and then got top 4 in a different year. I don't know if that's this year or last year. Again, not too sure on VGC personally. But yeah, definitely a good pickup for 6, right? I feel like if he went later in the auction, he would have gone for much more. You saw the other highly ranked VGC guys Repeat go for 8. Desk Smash was a little bit higher than Michael Der Best. We got Lemuro for 5.5. I think that's a good price. Who else? Trace went for 9.5. And then, who else for VGC? Oh, TYO for 10.5, yeah. So, definitely towards the middle of the auction, people were looking at VGC hey, we actually need to draft one of these guys, maybe 2. So the price did get inflated towards the middle there, but yeah, good pickup here. Metro, I also think this guy's pretty good. For 5.5, I think that's a good price, pretty reasonable. 64 squares, similar idea. I think this guy is pretty reasonable for 4.5. Sylvie, I did team with. They did say they're doing only VGC, so we'll see if that's just false information or if that's actually true, because I feel they would be the backup support to Michael. We'll have to see. And then Potato Chan, I know absolutely nothing about this guy, so overall I think this is probably one of the weaker Band Chasers rosters over the years. With this Captain Core, Genius usually drafts quite well, whereas in the post-auction power rankings, they're pretty clearly number 1, unless you're biased towards your own team. Then you can also make it a 1-2 kind of thing. But yeah, I actually don't rate this too highly, unfortunately, overall. Can they do well? I think they probably make playoffs still, but they're definitely fighting for that 4th spot in my head, at least post-auction power rankings. Some of them might overperform, and obviously you can't predict that ahead of the season, right? Floaty water, hey, get some floaties, boy. Alright. Good song. Psyduck. So, alright, let's move on to the Chrome Cabal. Got with my K-Crick and LowQP, two of the GOATs, right? Kind of similar to Band Chasers, where the captains are like very elite. Maybe not quite to the same degree. K-Crick probably peaked a little bit ago, but he's back, and, you know, if K-Crick wants to put in the effort, he'll definitely perform, you know what I mean? LowQP had a big break, but he came back and hasn't dropped a beat, you know what I'm saying? He was kind of the GOAT back in the day, and then took like 2 or 3 years off, and now he's back, better than ever. Both self-bought, so they will both be able to play. I know K-Crick is probably going to end up in Sun and Moon. LowQP is probably going to, you know, I actually don't know too much. He could probably play any tier. One thing I wanted to do is look at like the tiers, right? So what's Band Chaser's SV lineup? Because that's like the #1 issue I have with the team, right? You need to field at least 3 SVs. And maybe Genius is playing that, but then who's playing your ORAS? I guess Metro is your main ORAS, but I don't know, I feel like Metro is better fit as like the backup ORAS, so it's like the flex slot, because there's 2 flex ORASes in the season. So maybe Genius plays ORAS, but then SV would be what, High Jump Sean? Lux for sure. Maybe FC, I don't know about him. 64 squares for sure. But it's like definitely on the weaker side, no? Maybe 100 plays it, but then who's playing Swish? Like, I don't see like an elite starting 8 out of this team. There's definitely some high points, but the full 8 I don't rate quite as well. Anyways, back to this Chrome Cabal. So the captain duo quite good. No complaints here. Addison for 20k I believe is an overpay. Great player, great person, but 20k is a lot. Like, if you're looking at similar prices, we have Soggy Doggy Sage for 25, Glop for 18, Hunter for 25. These are all players that I would rate above Addison in like power level compared to the rest of the field. You know what I mean? I'm not saying Addison's bad. I think she's quite very good, but it's a lot to pay. And Gorex for 15.5, more than I would pay, but I respect the pickup nonetheless. I think this guy's quite good. Yeah, and then Undead for 10.5 is probably a good deal, especially like working with K-Crick. That's like his boy. So for this team, I think he's worth 10.5. For other teams, maybe worth a little bit less, which is why he ended up on this team, of course. And Desk Smash, one of the better VGC players for 6.5. That's a good pickup. Lindworm as well. You got your VGC combo right here. Pretty reasonably priced, so really no complaints here. Like, probably one of the better VGCs. Agency is Zone. I know Aster rates this guy quite high. I think he's good. I think he's good as well. And J Scurf as well. I rate this guy as well. Pacers, I don't really know too much about, and Cyanical. I see him like in the Smogon Discord, but I don't know, I haven't seen him play the Pokemon game too much, you know what I mean? So these two I can't really speak too much on, but the rest of this I think is quite a strong roster. I think they're definitely playoffs caliber. And yeah. So SV, right? Who's playing SV? Agency, maybe J Scurf. Undead could, but he can also flex into the older slots. Maybe Gorex plays SV, I don't know. But then Swish, you have Addison, and then plus the flex slot of like, who would flex to Swish here? Maybe Gorex, maybe LowQP could. I don't know. And then Sun and Moon, you have K-Crick. That's excellent. And then ORAS. ORAS, you had to have, I don't know. This is like maybe the weaknesses of this team. Maybe ORAS is not as strong as the rest of the tiers. But overall, I think it's quite good. You know what I mean? Alright, let's move on to Dreamwalkers. So Professor Shuckle, that's my GOAT. So Darkrai, bit of an overpay, shout out. 25.5 is a lot. Like, if you look at it, there's only one player more expensive than him, and it's Habda. And everyone knew Habba was gonna be like the #1 price. But Darkrai being number 2, good for stroking the ego, right? But yeah. Say LoQP probably plays ORAS for them most weeks. Yeah, that's probably fair actually. I was kind of like thinking him more as like a flex slot, but yeah, ORAS does make sense. Pacers is Ray. Oh, it is Ray. Oh, so Ray and LoQP, right? From back in the day. Is that right? Is that correct? I remember people were saying LoQP and Ray were the only people to escape Draft League by like retiring and then never coming back. And look where we are now. We're so back. Okay. So that's definitely a plus for this team. I didn't know that. Big fan of Ray and LoQP. Yep. Big fan of the channel. Oh, Greg. That's awesome. Hey, Greg, if you want to hop in a call and waffle, like, you're totally invited, you know what I mean? And then Darkrai said he might join later. What server? Oh, man. What servers do we share? I don't know. What servers are we all in? Rocket better, profit getter. We be making money more than Rockefeller, knock a fella out. Wow. That line flows so smooth. I like it. Precipice of greatness of suspecting for being disrespecting. Boy, you know they hate this. That's a VGC thing. That's a reference. Oh my god. I think we might have to go to the Clash of Kings Discord server. You know what I mean? Oh, Old Wig? Yeah, we could do Old Wig actually. Are you in this one? You are, but Darkrai isn't. Oh, I hate that. Next Wig server. The Giga Old one. Darkrai's here. You're here. Okay. The one with the old like logo thing. Not the OB logo. Alright, I joined the call. You can hop in whenever. Hello, the Dougal. Cly has asked, is Zooch gonna win? Zooch is not gonna win. I think he sucks. No aura on that kid. Because the thing is, he didn't self-buy. And that just means you don't believe in yourself. So, like, what is even the point? Is that a Gregulator?
Yo.
That's a Gregulator in my ear. Hello.
Hello, YouTube, and hello, King L5. It's Gregulator60 here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Simply fantastic.
Simply fantastic? Oh my god. This is so epic.
It really is. How's the chat doing today?
It's good. It's good.
It's good. So DCL is here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you been like around for a bit? I went over Band Chasers and Chrome Cabal for a bit.
No, I literally, when I said hello, that was literally just when I got there.
All right. What do you think of
so
those
what are we
two?
looking at?
What do you think of Band?
Band and Chrome?
Yeah.
On first look, I feel like it's an interesting combination for both captains. They made a couple of comfort picks. Zing obviously working with Saidul, Luxans. I think they know Metro and Squares too. I'm pretty sure. So they're kind of keeping familiar faces. I think they're gonna have a really strong like Usum Sword and Shield, and then like sneaky good SV. So Usum as well. I like that team. There's a couple of heads I'm not too familiar with, but I don't feel like it's nothing like I wouldn't expect. And then they have the obligatory VGC players. I'm assuming that's like somewhere between FC and Michael, right?
It's Michael and Sylvie signed up as only VGC. We'll see if that's
Okay.
we'll see if that's a lie or not. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, you're not really forced to play what you signed up for, so it's not a
Yeah.
big deal. Chrome Cabal, they have Undead, so it's automatically the worst team in the league.
oh damn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Undead got exposed recently as being a fraud. But outside of that, like, this is a team I did not expect to look like this. I do like them going heavy on Addison, and there's just a lot of names I'm not too familiar with. So this is a little bit of this is an interesting selection of players. But I mean, Low QP and K Crick. Also, that core is a little. That's a interesting core too. They're good friends, but K Crick is very by the books when it comes to drafting. Low QP is a little more of an artist.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how their drafts turn out this season. So I have a lot of. I mean, I like these two pairs. I like a lot of the players here. What were your thoughts on them?
I think they're both like definitely playoff contenders.
Yeah.
I'm not as convinced on Band Chaser's lineup because I don't see a strong starting 8. They have a really good top, and then the mid is kind of like under where I'd want it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Someone
I would
said,
say-
honestly, Chrome is one of the weaker K-Crick teams.
You mean Chrome? Oh wait, are we talking about Chrome or Band?
Kind of both of them. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I love that Band and Chrome went heavy on like Sidul and Addy. But outside of that, it is lacking a lot of like more of like depth up top.
I think Chrome definitely has some depth. I don't think Band has the depth. Dude, we're in like the old Wig server, like the oldest Wig server. Are you in the server?
Was that Darkrai?
I don't think Duke's in the server.
Oh,
Here.
Dougal? How's
Let-
Duke
let
not
me-
here?
Let me send an invite. There we go. I think
This
Duke
is
was
the
on a different one.
Oh, for this season.
Darkrai's
this is
here.
The OG. This is the OG Wig server. Right? I think
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is.
the first one ever.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, I think that team especially, Sean's gonna have to really step up and like. I feel like he's gonna have to overperform, and he's traditionally been more of a. He's capable of it, but I've always viewed him as more of like a captain who will not buy himself in and support the team type of player, rather than actually playing and winning. So that'll be interesting to see if he can step up. I think his team will need him to. And then we're going to need to see some good performances, but it could happen because I really cannot count out Zing and Craig. They're just going to have to go into overtime.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, that is kind of what they do best. So
Yeah,
I
that is
think
true.
they're both playoffs bound, probably, but it might be tougher for them than other seasons.
Yeah, I think this will be a true challenge for them. But
Hello, the Dougal.
Mewing is a tongue
Yo.
exercise in which the tongue is rested against the roof of
All right. Do you have any hot takes about the first two teams, or are we ready to move on to the third?
There's no evidence to support it.
No, I mean, I think both teams look pretty good. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if either were top teams. Like, they have strong captains, and I think like they have players I've seen do well. So I don't know, no real hot takes.
All right. Just gotta eat some pizza, you know what I mean? So Dreamwalkers. Now this is like a pretty clear step down in captain quality, right? Compared to the first two.
Yeah,
Harrison, Luffy, they're great, but they're not Genius 100, K-Crick, Loki P. So that being said, I think they drafted quite well. I really like this team.
They had Darkrai, like as
Yeah,
like
Darkrai
their
is
most
their
expensive player, right?
yeah, like their number one go-to guy. Which, to be fair, he is that guy. Probably an overpay though.
Uh, yeah, they look pretty good. Like I like some of their better lower tier price guys. Like I think they're some are pretty good.
Yeah, I know they got like a super big steal in VGC with Zeal for 3K.
Okay,
Mhm.
Yeah, Zeal and Repeat probably one of if not the best VGC duos. GM from PZZ. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Hello.
PZ.
Oh my god. It's the Darkrai and we're going over your team. This is epic.
Oh no, I should
just
leave
I
them.
just called you an overpay. What do you think?
Accurate, 100%.
Hey,
I'm so washed. I don't know why people keep spending money.
because you're the goat. It is what it is. Anyways,
You
Scribble.
said it.
Scribble's my boy. Great pickup. Meta as well. I feel like that's a good pickup. We said Repeat and Zeal, good pickups. Amel, I think historically has been on a losing trend for a few years now in team tours, so can't say I rate that.
Yeah, but we
pickup
got
too
him
high.
as last pick, right? And
Yeah.
there was just budget left, so I feel like then that's fine. He's a good flex slot, I think.
He is for sure. Like, it's not a bad pickup, but you know the history is there of a lot of losing recently. High Croc's a good pickup for 5/5, I think. Lejon for
I
Forest
think I've
Care.
seen like High Crops do like well in like every team tour I've seen
Yeah,
them play in.
I think it's a good pickup. And then
Yeah.
Zom for 3, can't complain. You know, Hedja,
Yeah.
I have no idea who that guy is.
They're doing decent in seasonal. They're 6-2. They beat me. I thought they were decent.
Oh, they beat you? Okay, so
Oh,
they,
that's probably
they
not on
should be
your
like
team.
26k. So actually insane steal then. All right.
No, I think I like this team is a little bit more spread out in terms of talent.
Yeah.
So like they're gonna have an easier time fielding 8 every week, and I feel like the diversity of their roster, they're not gonna be hurting too badly in any flex week because between Amel, Lejon, Zombie, and I guess Hedja now you have like an extra slot that you could just play whoever is the best fit that week. So I think in terms of how they're approaching their lineups, they're going to have an easier time filling all their slots versus other teams. I feel like the other two teams, especially, maybe they're a little too heavy in certain gens. Like Chrome looks a little light on SV. Band looks a little light on Oris. Like, I mean, you could play people there, but like you don't. There are people who don't want to play the gen.
Yeah.
But like
you don't have
Dreamwalkers,
the S tier option.
yeah, Dreamwalkers though, I feel like they're so balanced. Like they'll easily be able to float around and fill every gen up. Not too bad.
Yeah, I feel like the starting 8, they all have like a good chance to win their games, you know?
Yeah, and I wouldn't
Yeah.
count anybody out. Like, and I feel like
think-
their lower picks, they're so like lower price that they can overcompensate for overpaid Darkrai. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
So true.
Like
I
if you're
thought
gonna,
the
think
only
they're-
thing. Sorry, go ahead.
if you're gonna
I
pay,
think, like-
oh, got the three-way tie.
Man.
Here, you first.
Okay, so like I think like with like some of their lower tier picks especially are like really motivated to play and give like effort, and I think that's something that like can lack on and like hurt even good teams. Like I don't think they'll have that problem. Like I think they'll be pretty good with motivation.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think our Swish doesn't have like a heavyweight hitter compared to other teams. That would be like the only thing. But Hycrox is still really good, and so is Zom. So
Yeah, I think like
You know, maybe they
Hycrox
can
is
just
your
get
main
upset.
guy, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Iris can also slot Swish, but he's probably just gonna be flex or use
Mhm. I think what I was gonna say, if you're gonna pay 25.5 for Professor Shuckle, then you probably need to find some deals elsewhere to make up for that. And I think they did kind of do that.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think that's what
Particularly
they.
High Crocs and Zeal, I think could have gone for more. Those are like the two standout like underpays, or like maybe not underpays but good deals. You know what I mean?
Bargains.
Yeah, that's a great word. What would I do
Oh my
without you?
Win.
Okay. I'll just take you from the call then. Instant championship. Do you think these guys are playoff quality?
I feel like this might be a team that is gonna. It's a very swing team, so like I feel like this team is gonna have a lot of draws, 3-4. So to win outright with 5 games a week, I wouldn't call them favorites in many weeks, but it's not gonna surprise me to see like certain players get wins. Like we said, they're all capable, like High Crocs, Zeal, Repeat. So it wouldn't shock me, but I wouldn't call them a favorite. But it's not gonna. I would say a contender.
Yeah,
By
like right
definition,
after
but,
the
like-
auction ended, I was looking at it and I saw like maybe 5 or 6 playoff contenders,
Yeah.
like in my mind, and they're definitely one of them.
This is my first time looking at the auction, so
Got the blind reaction.
this is a blind reaction.
It's an
So-
honest reaction.
Yeah. I mean, you think Greg would ever not keep it 100? That's crazy.
I don't
For real.
know. Maybe you paid him money to talk good about your team. I don't know.
I'm
What is
not rich
my
like
word?
that.
It's 2024. I have no one's paying me for anything.
Right?
It's my first time ever going undrafted.
Guys,
I forgot you signed up.
Yeah, I signed up and I went undrafted for the first
Oh,
time.
no.
I
in a
didn't
year.
see Brent. Is your smoke on name different?
It's soup.
Oh man.
that's
I didn't know.
yeah.
Was the dig like all on the Smogon forums? Because like, if so, I didn't even check them out at all. So like, this is the first time I'm seeing any of the teams either.
Yeah, it's on
I
the
didn't even know the
forum.
draft happened until like minutes ago.
Oh, that's epic. Anyways,
Yeah, but
guys, don't forget to like the stream. We need
And
to farm
subscribe.
those likes. I'm actually
And
very
then
close
type in
to
the chat.
700 subs. You
Type in
can
the
help
chat
me get
too.
there.
Are you sponsored by like NordVPN?
yeah,
No,
any
no.
ads you guys get, click on the ads too.
We're sponsored by the Infernal Armory. Oh my god, PZZ liked and subscribed? That's my goat. So when we get to Nimble Nightclub, instant S tier.
I mean, they have the milkman, so
Yeah,
all right, we'll get there when we get
Yeah,
there.
we'll-
Though.
we're on our way. Alright. Anyways, let's go on to Infernal Armory. Not biased here, not biased. I think we're the best.
I think it's a good team.
I think
Um,
it's excellent.
I think it's
I like
excellent.
Sage a lot. I think she's great.
Mhm.
Dexter, you worked really well with him before. Yeah, I mean, it seems good.
Yeah, I think this is a very
Who are your BGC players? I don't know that tier like at all.
It's gonna be Lemuro, and
Yeah,
Street Cred
okay.
Cookie is our flex slot.
yeah. I've played with Lamuro and something. They're pretty solid for BGC. I don't remember what it was, but I recognize the name. That's a very nice option you have there. What I like about this team is that it feels like you have your cornerstones for certain tier in certain players, like Sage, very good at what they do. Theo, very good at what they do. Obviously, you and Aster, we don't have to talk about. Then you get down to the lower tiers, or you're not the lower tiers, your lower budget players, and then I think you have players that are able to overperform for what you paid for them. Like for example, Bacon,
Mhm.
6,000. I feel like that's a solid pick. If you need to flex him into, I think he played what Usam in
He played
you know?
SV mostly.
SV. I'm thinking of another guy. the other Madman player. Okay, so I guess I'm wrong about Bacon, but
So
I remember
Bacon in DPL last season went for like 10K, and then had like a 6-1 performance, and now he's 6K on our team. Make it make sense.
I
I
think
think it's because of its app. He said bench most weeks will not be active.
Eh,
So
he's good.
Yeah, well,
think-
he doesn't. That's the thing, though. You don't need to play him every week on this team, and that's the
I think
thing between him and Abe and Paddocks. Like, you don't have to play them all three at the same time. Your team is deep enough to do them with them going on vacation or whatever they have going on, and then like you and Aster are probably some of the more like involved captains. So you'll be able to do a good job there, filling up gaps. And then you have the cookie luck on top of all this.
Yep, that's
That's
the
very
next factor.
Yeah, at a bargain too, 10,000. I don't feel like that's too crazy for cookie.
Then we have Theo
And
for
then-
12.5, which I think is like one of the biggest steals of the auction, to be honest.
I don't know
Yeah.
if it's a biggest Theo, because Theo's not active. He'll just win. He'll go 5-2, and he'll draft one team that nobody else on the team can use.
we have
But
3
I think it's a
drafts.
good price for.
I don't.
Yeah, I
see,
know.
Here's
But
my,
this is
here's
a
my,
good price
here's
for
my,
Theo.
here's my take on those types of players. What did you start? How did you start off with? He'll go 5-2. Okay, I
Yeah.
don't care what happens.
Yeah,
Oh.
no,
Yeah.
that's I think this price is better for Theo. I feel like the 20K or whatever usually people pay is a bit of an overpay because he's not active that much. You know?
I've teamed with him before. He was like reasonably active. Like no
I-
complaints there.
Theo is not. From my experience with Theo is gonna do all of his stuff. He'll post his pace. He'll have a game plan, and he'll go win, or he'll be competitive. And I feel like for a $12,000 player, or 12 points, what more could you want?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
for comparable prices, I'm looking at people like Lucas over on Trick of Eye. You're looking at Sebi. You're looking at maybe Jimmy G is like a little bit of a stretch for the same price, 11 versus 12.5. But like, I feel like
Yeah.
Theo is definitely a cut above them in terms of play.
Yeah,
I think I think you guys have like a top tier player in like most tiers too,
Mhm.
like Sage for XB, Aster for Usum, you for Orasum, and I think you could be top tier in XB too.
Yeah.
Theo for Switch. So like this is a team I could definitely see being like at the top of the leaderboards and standings.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you go 3-4 between all of those guys, and then you have a lot of other players that could fill up your slots. Like you just need to get 2 more wins between your Nick, your Bacon, your Lemuro, your Paddocks, and your Abe. Like that's a consistent way that I could see this team winning. So I would say playoff contender for sure.
Yeah.
I thought this was the best team, and we haven't even talked about their biggest deal. I thought it was Panda or like Nick's numbers. 7K for him is
Yeah.
insane. This guy's
Oh.
crazy active.
Yeah, he's very
I
Oh.
tried to get my team to get him.
he's
but
very
I don't know,
creative.
man.
That's something I like about him.
Yeah,
There's
he's
He'll
like
really
think of
good.
stuff nobody
Nick
else.
goes.
So I don't. There's like 6 people named Nick, so I don't know which one he is.
He's Panda like double A. Like he's
Okay.
Panda with 2 A's. He was captain of Team Canada, and he's really, really good. Aster team him,
Alright.
and he really liked him.
Hmm.
Yeah. The only issue I saw on this team was who do you play for second Oras in the 2 weeks? You have to play double Oras.
Yeah, that's probably like the only weakness I would see in this draft.
Can Abe do it?
Yeah.
Because I know he's been
Abe-
around for forever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Abe could do it.
Likely
Paddocks
we're gonna
can do
go
it.
with Abe
Beardy
or
can do it.
yeah, Abe or someone. Maybe Cookie.
Beardy hasn't played a lot of Oras, so I know like he doesn't like it that much.
Hmm.
He doesn't like. Yeah, you play what you get slotted in.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely the second ORAS slot is probably. We were looking at this during drafting as well. Like, yeah, probably that's like our one weak point. But everywhere else we have at least 2.
Yeah,
elite players.
Everything else looks very solid. It's
Yeah.
just Oras second, I think, is a little questionable.
But you also have
Not
like 5 who can support the second Oris slot. So
Yeah, I feel confident.
He's too busy eating pizza. He's not gonna do any support.
What kind of pizza?
So, I actually got 2 pizzas. This is like 2 slices from each one. They both have pepperoni, but one has sausage, one has olives.
Okay. That's
Because
nice.
there was a Domino's deal this week
Oh, I got
where
that.
it's
I
like
got that this week.
$6.99 for a
$6.99.
large 2
Yeah.
topping. Yep.
Dude, I got a mushroom sausage on Friday, I think.
Nice.
Yeah. And I have to get the cheesy bread. It's not a Domino's ad, but if they want to sponsor us, they totally can.
We can have more pizza parties. Just you provide the
Yay.
pizza. All right. I think I've said my piece on my team. I think it's excellent. I couldn't be more
I
happy
think
with
it's
it.
the best team, and I'm not even biased because I don't like the South 5 guy.
True. He hates me.
Aster's the goat, though. Aster's my goat.
Okay, maybe a little
I
bit.
think like of the 4 teams we covered, either this team or Band, I think it's the best. Like so far, to me. I don't know.
I feel like Band has more potential because I know FC is just broken, and so is Michael. But on paper, I think Armory looks a little better.
So I don't actually know FC. Can you fill me in?
Oh, FC is Smoke On Players on Team Canada, and if you give him a good build, he'll just win. He doesn't lose.
All right.
He's like a Smoke On player. He's really good Smoke On player.
Deal.
Yeah. So I wanted him, but it's like you have to build a good team for him. So it's like he won't be active, but he'll just play his game and win. So blunder kind in DPL.
All right. PokeFan thinks it's Infernal and Phantom top 2 teams, and it's not even close.
I mean, we haven't reached Phantom Thieves
Yeah,
yet,
we're
right?
halfway there.
Yeah.
We'll get there. But yeah,
Yeah,
I appreciate the
I
growth.
haven't even
Also,
looked at that team yet.
this is perfect because I have the Mafia fantasy draft in like an hour. So
Oh, so you're like researching right now, basically.
this is perfect. Possibly.
This is so epic.
Let's go.
All right. So what do you think about Nature's Madmen, Blidius and Zio Trip? This is probably the same captain like tier as Harris and Luffy. They're both
Yeah.
like pretty respectable, but they're not blowing the doors off or anything.
Also, from a little bird told me that Blitz is not going to be really active. Allegedly, this is
Oh, why
like
is
a
that?
mono Zeo. This is like a mono Zeo solo job.
Interesting.
Yeah, so Blitz, I would not be expecting to give a ton of support this season. Obviously, he's a Pokemon player, so he can't help himself.
Mhm.
But
He did
that's
self
what a little.
buy.
See, this is what I'm talking about. You can't trust Pokemon players when they say they don't play.
Mhm.
But we can go over the roster.
Flop, Odin, Sadlo, Blitz. Well, is Blitz even playing then?
You would
I
assume
mean, he's
so.
Or is
playing.
that a different- Yeah. I feel like this team might be the weakest of the other 4. Like, I think they might be a bit weaker, especially like if one of their captains isn't going to be that active. Like, I like Flop, Odin, and Sablo a lot, though.
I actually agree with you that this is probably the
Yeah.
weakest of the 5 we've gone over so far.
Yeah.
That being
I
said,
feel
I
like
think
for-
the first 4 are pretty strong. So take that for what it is.
That's true. However, when I look at a team and I look at their big 4, I would expect
music
for them
paused.
to at minimum go 2-2. And on any given week, based on player trends, I think 2-2 is just like a ceiling. I don't really see this team consistently getting 3 to 4 wins between Glob, Odin, Sablo, and Blitz. Maybe that's a hot take,
I don't think
but
it
I
is.
don't feel like that is. Like,
Yeah, I think if you look at like the top 4 for the other teams, like I think like at least Band, Chrome, and like Infernal Armory all their top 4s are stronger.
I think we
and then
blow
it's,
them out
like,
of the water.
debatable with the other-
Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't
yeah.
disagree.
And so to compensate for a top 4 that isn't consistently getting 2 wins minimum, or 3 even, you're going to need to get those 2 to 3 wins from your lower tier players. And so we have Trace, who I've heard good things about. I don't remember exactly, so I'm not too involved in this scene, but I know that's a capable player.
mhm.
But outside of him, I don't trust TDNT. Brian is going to college in a week. Is he really gonna be putting a whole ton of effort in? Your dunk? How do we know he's not a Zing spy? As
True.
if I not too sold here. Jesse and Vinny. Vinny did have a nice DPO.
I think Vinny's pretty good.
You know,
Like-
his trajectory will need to continue to go up for this team to have a realistic playoff chance.
Yeah,
And
I
I
think
don't-
there's like a lot of pressure on like the low and mid tier players.
Yeah.
For them.
And I feel like when the pressure is on your lower end of your roster, it's just not. That's not a setup for success, in my opinion.
Yeah, sometimes you'll have people overperform, you know, but you can't rely on that ever.
Well, that's how champions are. That's how championship teams
But like
are made. Is you
to
get
make the best opportunity for yourself, you need like that high tier, like we know they're gonna do well, and then you need your low end to also step up. You need both of them to happen to really have a championship run.
yeah, and like I feel like this is gonna be a team that's gonna have a lot of 3-5 wins, 3-5 losses,
Yeah.
and
Okay, so Odin, right? He was like almost a min bid, right, in PPL, or he was a mid bid,
yeah,
and then he went like 6-1. I don't know how repeatable that is, you know.
He's like 10-1 in his last 11 team tour games.
I
Yeah.
wonder who his one losses to.
Oh, it's to you, right?
Goat, goat.
Yeah, but I mean,
I could be
Odin's the
wrong,
goat,
but
though.
18 is a lot.
That's also very That's a streaky thing. Like L5 said, how much more can that continue? Like if he can really have another performance like that this season, I would feel like, you know, those types of questions about him will finally die off. But like, those questions are there for a reason,
Yeah.
you know?
I still think he would have gone for at least like 13, 14K though, because
That's
he's
what I was
also active.
expecting.
He's-
I wasn't expecting 18. That's like
Yeah,
crazy to
18's
me.
maybe slightly overpay, but I don't think it's like. I don't think it was going to be like min bid or single digit though at all.
yeah.
I think it was definitely going to be higher.
No, for sure.
I feel like closer to 10 than 20 though.
I agree. I think like 13, 14 is what I would have him at. But
Yeah.
because he's good vibes, he's active, he wins his games. He's pretty strong USM player now, so like he's been consistent in USM for a while.
Maybe I'm over hating. I don't know.
Yeah.
Glop-
I feel
mean,
like
if
Glop,
you
I
just
think,
make a
is good.
Sharpedo, he just wins, right?
Yeah. Glop for 18, I think, is pretty reasonable. Like he's one of the
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
one of the best
Glop
switched in the
is-
pool.
Glop to me is just probably a cornerstone of this team, and I feel like Glop himself personally has said that that's not the type of role he wants to have. But for this team to do well, that's the type of role he needs to take on. Because I don't, without like
No one else does
Glop
that.
going into demon mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no Sablo is not that player. Like I just recently teamed up
Yeah.
with Sablo. He is not that player.
I think
and they
Sablo
don't-
like is a massive overpay. Like, love the guy. 17
me
is
too.
a lot.
Right, and like I was saying, like Sablo is from a 17K
Oh my
player.
God.
You're gonna need him to go over 500 every week, and honestly, in recent seasons, that 500 is just where he's at.
All right, we're making a
And-
pick right now.
Oh, in what tier?
Huge.
Swish. Swish
Okay,
one,
round
right?
one.
Yep.
All right, get Faramosa.
No.
That's on TDNT. I think he's decent. I don't know if it's 10.5K worth, but
A little,
go.
a little
even or
bird told me
positive.
that somebody asked in a different team server, like, how come nobody's taking Dragapult in Sword and Shield? That's a rumor. I can't
That's a
confirm
great
who
question.
the player. I can't confirm who the player is, and I don't remember the team. But a little bird told me that.
L5, you misspelled Tornado's T.
That's
Please
okay.
fix. No, please fix. This is upsetting me.
Yep.
Could you imagine if you put a typo and put I instead, or just like tornado? Okay,
Tornai.
if someone drafts Tornadus, what Tornadus are they getting?
Yeah,
Hi,
just give
right?
them incarnate. Yeah, for not being
Yeah.
clear.
That would go hard. All right, we
So
picked
we
up
know the
Torn,
PM team. Okay.
pretty much, yeah.
But
Got
this
me.
team is like outside looking in for me.
Yeah.
All right, where were we?
We're on the PZZ team.
We're gonna start PCZ. Yeah.
All right, so PZZ did like and subscribe, so I think this is probably one of the top teams, maybe ever, like all time kind of thing. Anyways, let's cut the glaze for a second. I have one big problem with this team, just off rip, and that's that Zooch didn't self-buy. I think that's leaving a lot on the table.
Yeah. Looking at like their budget, I think they could have afforded it. Like with what I have. I don't know.
I feel like for this team, like this is how I talked about it to Undead. You have a 32k Habita, so by not buying Zooch, you basically paid 17k for Hab. So what did you do with the extra 15k? And I don't feel like they got a whole lot of value for the extra 15k. That's just how I personally look at it. Like, we're talking like Don Miss for 45. I think that's a nice pick. Spies for 4, also a nice pick. So that's what, 8.5. And Amy, like, I don't know much about Amy, so I'm not gonna talk. Abriel.
She's like kind of like weird because she did well in like one tournament, but like it turns out she was being ghosted. So it's like I think it's kind of hard to rank her as a player.
Yeah.
True.
And
Though
so
there's
like,
respect to her, like I like her. She's really funny, but like
yeah,
I just gotta be honest. Like
yeah, like
I think it was kind of
Freak-
like getting ghosted by someone who wasn't really that good is the thing. Like they didn't know it was like illegal. You're just like
yeah,
asking
but
your boyfriend,
still
hey,
think-
hey, do you think I should do this or that?
yeah. I think I remember the Flying Beagle being like okay. Maybe I'm like confusing them with a different player, but like I'm just seeing like what did you do with the extra budget? I just don't feel like they got a whole ton of value.
yeah, I
They
think
picked up a bunch of like players that like
Like what
I
you-
would just rather have a Zooch
me
than
too.
what they have.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
they could have still,
definitely.
like realistically, you still could have paid 32,000 for Habita, had a Zooch, had a smaller roster, because Hab, PZZ, Hiker, Jimmy G, Zooch team is just gonna play every week.
yeah.
So like, I don't feel like, yeah, that's just where I feel like if like this is like think about the team Zooch was on last season, the captains didn't buy. And what did they do with the extra money? They got players who, I don't want to say overperformed because that's kind of mean, but like you got strong performances from players down below to compensate for having a ton of money on Zazo. And right
Yeah.
here, like, where is that? I feel like it's just a worse version of what they did last season in what they did in DPL. And now that being said, though, like I do like the
They
Hab.
wanted to talk shit about Amy's ex, but I don't
I don't
think
know the
who
guy.
that guy is. Yeah, so
About
I don't
who?
think we can oblige
Give
to
me
that.
some dirt and I'll talk about it. Like I don't
Yeah.
Who
know.
do they want me to talk shit about?
Amy's
Amy's
ex, the guy that ghosted her, I guess.
Oh, well, I don't care about that. Well, like that's this thing. Like you got an Amy on the roster. Like, are you playing them?
Oh, wait. News just came in. Glop is going insane this season.
Well, yeah, I mean,
he-
that
okay,
makes them
but
He's
better,
decided
You're-
to win.
definitely.
Well, he doesn't have a choice if he wants to
I
do
know,
well.
I know.
I'm sorry.
It's- yeah.
He
You've
doesn't have a
been volunteered
choice.
as tribute.
Unless he's like competent with like his team just playing like shit, then yeah. But other than that, he's forced to
hmm
if he wants to have any chance. But back to the Nimble Nightclub. I
do like Jimmy
Habita.
G. I will say.
You do like it?
Yeah, I like him. He hasn't had a
I do
great
too.
season recently, but when I teamed with
Yeah.
him, no complaints. You know what I mean?
Yeah, same. Like I'll always have love for the Milkman.
Hmm.
I think Don is pretty underrated. I'd love to see Don succeed. You know, we're gonna just discount his the Vesuvius effect from DPL,
True.
and
Yeah, he did for sure. PZZ.
what did PZ say?
Jimmy had an extremely unlucky DPL last season. I would agree with that.
Yeah. And so, like, to me, this is another fringe playoff team. So I guess it's kind of good that we've already looked at 5 teams and 3 of them are quote unquote fringe, because that means 2 of them will get in. So, like, this team is playoff contender, I would say. But I feel like it had a lot of more potential that they did not utilize well.
Yeah, I feel like at
Yeah.
least they did it like somewhat correct at the beginning. Or like if you're not gonna double self buy, you do want to just grab the best player on the board. And I think that pretty clearly was Habada this season. So
I think it might be Glop, honestly. But that's just I love Glop. I think he's really good, but I don't know.
you teamed with him
I-
though, so that's a little bit of
Yeah.
bias there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
I've
on
seen what
paper-
Habita before, so like I would say Habita is the best.
Yeah, I think on paper you have to say Habada. But yeah, I think that was correct. Just drop the bag on him. Who cares? But then like I don't know, the surrounding pieces maybe could have been a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where I think the auction kind of went a little weird. But like I said, we've covered 6 teams and 3 of them are fringe, so 2 of them have to make it. So
Hmm. I will say PZZ is in like the back-to-back-to-back winning spree, so maybe
I
know,
mean-
maybe
I mean,
it does have to.
Tom
end
Brady never
eventually.
went back to back to back. Steph Curry never went back to back to back.
I think PZZ probably should have taken a break to go play like baseball or whatever,
Yeah,
and then come back and three-peat again.
I agree.
Then he could be the Michael Jordan.
Or he could have went on tour with Sabrina Carpenter. That could have been an option as well.
True.
Yeah.
That's the me espresso. Dude,
When's the
been playing so often.
Pokemon? That's my favorite. I didn't know who she was, and then
Same.
I just felt
it's a good
that song blew up.
It's good.
Yeah, it blew up, and I was
It
like,
is,
oh my
yeah.
God, I love her.
Hmm.
It's on like my gym routine songs
Yeah.
right now.
Is it one of your cardio songs?
Yeah, actually it is. I don't know. It's just like I love the energy it has. It definitely lifts me up.
It's not for me. It's not a weightlifting song, but it's 100% a cardio song.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Phantom Thieves. Or does anyone have anything else to say?
I think we've said our
Um,
piece.
Yeah.
I have at
I
least.
think they're like I don't think they're like a weak team, but I definitely don't think they're one of the top teams. You know, that's all I have to really say.
Hmm.
Okay.
Who has been in the draft community for the longest? That's Aberforth on my team.
Yeah.
I feel like the 3 of us have been in like the same amount of time too, and we've been here for forever.
No, Abe definitely predates me by like 2 years.
Really?
Yeah,
Abe
He's like-
predates me by like
actually,
8
dinosaur.
When the hell did he start? I think I started in like 2015, 2016.
yeah, that's when I started.
I started
late.
2016.
I started late 2015. He was like early 2015, maybe 2014.
Yeah, something like that. Anyways, Nimble Nightclub. Yeah, probably. So far, I would put them above Nature's Madmen, but not above any of the other 4 that we've looked at. I think that's probably fair.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
All right, Phantom Thieves. I know someone in the chat, PokeFan, was a big fan of Phantom Thieves.
Why?
Whoa.
I'm a big fan of them too. I like their captains a lot.
Yeah,
They
JCM
have Rock
and
Jr. to
Panther.
go.
I think JCM is like probably the best SD player currently.
I would agree.
So
I definitely think he has a strong case for that. Yeah.
yeah, he's definitely in the conversation, if not like number one. Anyways, Panther for 15. Probably could have gone without that, but I do understand wanting to play for your team.
I think he's
Yeah.
good. Like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I probably would have
Alright.
done the same thing, you know, if it were me in that position. But
Luckily, we're not in that position.
So Hunter's the Infected for 25. I think this is probably a good pickup. You know,
I don't-
teamed with him
no qualms.
last season. He always puts in the effort. He's always like gonna go positive. You know,
Yeah.
I think
Um,
he does have that like the X factor when he plays, where like sometimes he will just completely outplay an endgame. You know, turn around
Yes.
a loss into a win.
And that is super underlooked.
I mean,
That
in
even when things are
draft-
going wrong, and you can, that's yeah.
in draft, not a lot of people do that. They'll just lose. You know,
Yes, they will
they're
not
so
find a
focused on their
way.
prep.
Yes, that's the thing. Some people, if you go off the game plan, they cannot win their game.
cooked.
But Hunter will always do his best to find some way to make a play and win the game.
Yeah.
And sometimes he'll look dumb doing it and people don't understand, but he has to make those plays. Otherwise, there's no chance. He's just going to lose safe.
yeah.
And so I've always appreciated that about Hunter. Because like you said, not many people in draft can do it well. Hunter can prep well and play well.
yeah.
And I will
deadly
always
combo.
give him a fighting. I will, yeah. His only real flaw is he's a furry.
That is rough. Yeah.
So, like, that's rough. But like, I feel like I could overlook that for what he provides to the team.
For sure. Yeah. And then Rob
Yeah.
Jr., right? The GOAT.
That's the goat.
The goat. Nothing else to say.
Yeah.
For him.
So this gives them a very strong SV player in Shadow, a strong ORS player with Rob, and then Hunter can be Swish or Sun and Moon. He's very strong in both. Can even play SV if he wants. So it depends on how the rest of the team wants to slot, but definitely some elite pieces there. And then you have like your mid-tier kind of guys, which is like the Panther, Sebi, Rai. Maybe that's a little bit disrespectful to Sebi. I think, you know, a few years ago he might be in that elite tier, but these days I think he's more in line with the mid tier of each team. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But yeah,
I think he's capable of putting up a strong season.
for sure. Yeah, it's just a little bit inconsistent from what
Yeah.
I've seen. That being said, this is like a pretty decent mid-table for a team. You know, like can't really complain too hard when like
Yeah.
your sixth best player is like one of these three. I'm not gonna rank him exactly, you know, but
Yeah,
as a top 6, I really like
Yeah.
this. And then Tid Vicious at VGC, I think is great. So like as a top 7 there, I think it's quite reasonable, you know. And at that point,
Here's
you almost have your
also-
starting 8.
Hold on, I have some insider knowledge on this pair.
Uh-oh.
So, my first introduction to Tid Vicious was it was in PWS, and I had drafted Sebi onto my team, and him and Tid are IRL friends, and they
Oh.
are both world competitors for VGC. So Sebi has increased value, I feel, in DCL. Because everyone primarily focuses him as a draft, like a singles draft player, but he's very well versed in actual VGC, and him and Tid just go hard, like in terms of like drafting, prep, and stuff. So he's got a lot of extra value in this format that you don't see in like other team tours. So I really like that pair together.
I could see that.
yeah.
Not gonna lie, I kind of assumed it was like a similar deal to like Aki VGC, where he just puts VGC
No.
in there and he doesn't
No,
actually
he
play it.
he's been to Worlds.
I didn't
Sebi.
know that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
has been
I had
to
no idea.
the Worlds.
All right, maybe that changes my opinion of him within the context of this tournament. Then,
Yeah, like I said,
yeah,
in this format,
For
my
he
bad,
has a
sure.
bro,
lot
my
more.
bad.
He has a lot more added value
Yeah,
in this
that's
format
definitely fair.
for sure.
He can flex with Tid Vicious or something like that.
Yeah, well, not only flex, but he can be like support as well,
Yeah, for
which
sure.
is rare from a single.
You don't want someone just like on VGC Island. No one really helps. And they're just doing
Yeah.
their game.
Yeah, no, they will prep together. They'll mock together. Well, I don't remember doing a ton of mocks, but like they're gonna prep together. They're gonna draft and bounce ideas back and forth off each other.
Yeah,
That's a very
great.
good chemistry for that team.
Mhm.
And I think I'm not sure if JCM and Slick knew that. Maybe when they picked up Sebi, he told them.
Surely, right?
But
Surely.
yeah, but I love that pair together. I feel like that also elevates Sebi in terms of his role on the team. On this team too, you have your big four. I consider Shadow, Rob, Hunter, Rai. That's a team that I could see realistically going 3-1 every week. And then you have a really strong VGC, the role players as well on the team. I think there's a lot. This team is it's sneaky. I think it's a very good team. It's a playoff contender in my eyes.
I think it's a title contender. I'll go ahead and say it.
I don't give title contenders to anybody. There's too many
Fair enough.
title contenders that they don't win. So you're either a playoff contender and then anything happens, or you're outside looking in for me, or you're
Yeah.
trash.
What I'm saying
Those
is
are the three tiers.
I think it's like a top 2 roster.
I think they're gonna be fighting for like the top spot.
I don't want to curse anybody. We know how power ranking goes.
No, I think they're the best ever.
Even better than your team.
No, mine's the best. Mine's like the super best.
You don't want to be the best. That always ends up in last place.
We're not ending last.
Power rankings.
Anyways, for this like bottom 4 of this draft, Peyton, Seal, Mihawk, and C. C I know from ADV. Very creative player. Probably can do some decent work in ORAS, if I had to guess. Maybe as like a backup player for when ORAS is doubled, or just flex around, play some SV.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I know they play mostly Smogon though, so maybe
Yeah.
less experienced in draft, but with the support of like Shadow, Hunter, I don't think that'll be an issue. I think that for 3K. I think that's a good pickup. Seal and
Right.
Mihawk, I don't really know too much about. And Peyton, I helped that guy in TDT. It's a pretty good success given the context of that whole tournament. Definitely some higher competition here, so we'll see how he pans out.
It translates, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know the last 3 people they picked at all. So, but yeah, the rest of the team I think is pretty strong. So we'll see what they can do.
Yeah, definitely. If they miss playoffs, I will be super surprised. And then last up, Trick of Eye, right? The classic Skyhorse and II. I mean, one of the most long-standing
The
captain
cornerstones. Yeah.
Yeah. These guys were here when draft team tours were made. So yeah, they've been in the game for a while. They know what they're doing. That being said, they did typo in like 2 things in the auction. One of them was like redone,
What?
but one of them was not. So their first, well, maybe not their first pickup. I don't remember the exact order, but Lax was like 9, 9-5, and then Sky put in 19. He meant to say 10, but you see the 9 is
Yeah,
right next to the 0.
I like Lex, but I don't think he should be 19. I like 18 with him on band. I think he's good, but I don't know. It's definitely like an unfortunate overpay.
Honestly, I could see how I didn't know that until literally right now. And it makes sense because I was like, I don't know where their money went.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like where did it go?
True. My YouTube is saying the stream is like stuttering or something with my internet. If someone in chat wants to just say it's fine, then we can go on, but just put a pause on that for a second.
Sure. I could use this time to talk about when your next music video is coming out.
Oh, when's my next music video? We're hoping for
Yeah.
Monday. We're hoping for Monday.
Okay. A drop on
You-
Monday.
Yeah. So like tomorrow.
Are we getting it? Oh yeah, that's tomorrow.
And
Yeah,
Dude,
I think it was like
Oh my
Saturday.
god, let me just tell you, I woke up at like 10 o'clock. I was like, oh shit, I'm fucking late to work. Thinking it's Monday,
oh yeah,
but it's fucking Sunday.
I did the same thing. Not gonna lie, I was like, it's Monday today.
I literally ran out my door and I got to my car and I was like, wait, why did my car get towed? Because I parked on the street and I was like, oh shit, did I fuck up the street sweeping?
Okay.
And then I
looks
looked
like
at my
we're good
phone. I was
now.
like, oh, it's Sunday. And so then I just went to get my breakfast of champions. Can you guess what my breakfast of champions is?
No idea.
It's a Starbucks and nicotine.
I see. Okay.
All right. Anyways,
Yeah.
we're so back.
Anyways,
So
back
Lax
to
for
Triple
19 was a typo. That being said, he's a great player.
Yeah.
It's kind of unfortunate that they didn't like redo the bid for that because like it's pretty obvious it was a mistype. Everyone else was like, kind of like, oh, okay.
I feel like you can't though. Like
You totally can. They did it later in the auction.
what?
They did, yeah.
What's the what? Okay,
I think it was for
Whatever.
who was it? It was one of the VGC players. I think it was Tid Vicious maybe. Like he just randomly put in 11. He was like, "Wait, I didn't type that."
well, you did type that, but
Yeah, but he didn't
anyways.
mean to. So they redid that one. I feel like it would have been probably reasonable to redo the Lax one as well, but
I feel like
This
you
is
gotta
what-
go.
this is where
You
we
gotta
are.
either be. You just gotta be consistent. But that's
Yeah.
a discussion for another
it's
video.
definitely his fault that
Yeah.
he mistyped, but it's still a mistype, you know. Like, you don't want to punish
Yeah.
someone for mistyping. Like
Well, I mean, we did, but
we did, but you don't want to.
anyways.
Yeah. Lax is a good player
Uh,
though, so I don't feel like it really hurts them that bad.
Yeah. Or do they have an anime profile, right?
Oh,
Am
you're-
I thinking of the right person?
Beardrunk said, Zio asked what's the min number of players, and Skype typed 11, but any numbers typed during the bid is treated as a bid. So
Oh, that's okay. That makes sense. Why
that's-
that one
okay,
got
yeah.
retracted.
that does make more sense. I thought he just
Okay.
he just goofy.
I get that. Okay. Okay. I take back what I said about Smoke On. Well, yeah. I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
I guess I'll take it back.
It's
Whatever.
all good.
I
Anyways,
understand.
chipboard for 15 I think is an overpay, unfortunately.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, he's still like a reasonable player, you know. He defeated me in DPL. With that being said, 15 probably more than he should be. That was an epic sabotage by
Yeah.
Zio. Yeah, he's playing the game. Anyways, Skyhorse and I also for 15 self-bought. I think that's good value.
Yeah.
They've been on some down seasons recently, so it's about time for them to spring back, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like they're due
You
for a
can't-
good season.
Yeah. I personally don't. Based on this roster, I don't think this is gonna be the season for
Yeah,
team
maybe,
success.
maybe next season.
But for individually, I feel
Yeah,
like they
yeah,
could
for
bounce
sure.
back in a better way.
hmm
Like I think I went 4-3 last season, 3-4.
I know Skyhorse was like very negative, and
Very
he
negative. Yeah, I'm
tried
trying
to
to
like
think of high, though.
remake the Arctazult kind of team, but
Oh yeah.
part of the reason that team initially was so successful in the past was because it had Shifu and Spectre on it. So both
Yeah.
of which are banned now.
Oh yeah.
So
What?
not really
Thankfully.
able to surround it by the same pieces. And that team was like winless, so yeah. Probably does mean
Don't
that
have to-
Arctazult can continue to go down in the draft board though, so shout out.
Let's go, Arctazol.
And then Lucas I do rate as a player, but 13k maybe on the high end for him as well. It's like to answer your question, this is where all the budget
Yeah.
went. Some like
Yeah, this is
Kinda
my
questionable
big
overpays.
gripe with this team is like you have the
How-
typo with Lax, and
How
then
has
you're
Lucas done like in Team Torch? Like, has like his record? Like, has he been
Lucas.
like positive or around neutral? Like, what?
Lucas has
I
been
don't even
good
know.
in DPL. Not really like a super elite record, but I feel like watching him play was really impressive.
yeah.
Apparently he went 9-0
But-
in PWS before DPL. Yeah, that makes sense. Like I think he's a great player. Yeah, but for 13, yeah, maybe on the high end, like I said.
Well, the issue with their team is that Lucas has to play above his. I don't mean this in any disrespectful way, but because of the lack of depth on this team, he has to play above his level
Yeah,
for this team to succeed,
I think so.
and
Yeah,
that's
let's see.
unfortunate.
Let's
But
see.
like, I'm
Oras,
sure,
they
like
have
me
Chipboard.
personally,
Oras,
yeah.
Chipboard, Sun and Moon, II, Swish.
Sword and Shield, Sky,
Who's their Swish player?
Sky.
Oh right. I'm dumb. And then SV is Lax, Lucas.
TJ, I guess.
Yeah, BGC is TYO. But then like that's not a full starting roster. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So now
Yeah.
you're playing Slowpoke fan.
They drafted TJ twice.
Libby's good, right?
They're
Drafted
I don't,
TJ twice.
they have a double Slowpoke in TJ and Slowpoke fan.
Yeah, exactly. Do they cancel out or do they like multiply?
Is that how Slowbro evolves, or you need a Shelter?
You need a
Dude, if they
Shelter.
needed a Shelter, they should have hit me up.
Bro,
True. Oh my.
the Cloister Whisperer. Anyways,
But yeah,
like a
they're
pretty
gonna need a.
reasonable top
this
6,
team-
and then what? Like that's my problem with this.
Yeah, I was about to say they need to have a Greg on their roster.
Like a
So,
Greg
like-
here would go so hard. Not gonna lie.
Like they need a
Yeah.
they need a Nazarmat, Creator, Jay, or Olivia to like take my job and outperform their value
yeah.
to have a chance.
I mean,
Because the
On
thing
Trick-o-Bye.
about their top 4, Sky Eye, Lax, and Chip, that's a roster that I think is similar to what team did I talk about this earlier with? The Nature's Madmen, where I don't see them going any higher than 2-2 in any given week.
it's not like a consistent 3-1 like we
Yeah,
saw with like Phantom
With some of the
Thieves.
teams we talked better about.
Yeah.
So, and when you have a team like that, you need to get the wins from the lower end. And Lucas is a great start, but that's still only 3 wins. So now we need one of those players that we talked about to step up and get the win on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
Or we need Chip, or we need Chip and Sky to have those bounce back performances and get more wins.
I do
Otherwise, this team is going to be on the outside looking in.
think, I do think TYO is probably a good pickup for VGC, right?
Yeah.
Then I think Jay is decent is also a VGC guy if I remember correctly. So that's their backup for the flex slot.
Can VGC be a flex spot?
It is on week 4.
Oh,
There's
God.
only 1 week where VGC is doubled, but it is week 4.
Okay. So post mids
Yes.
to avoid you dropping your second. Oh, you can't
You
drop
can't
players.
drop
I
players.
forgot.
It's only Pokemon transactions.
Yeah. To me, this is another team that's on the outside looking in.
I agree. I think there's like a top 5 and then a bottom 3. You know
well,
what
I think it's more.
Yeah.
To me, it's more like a top 3, bottom 5.
Oh, spicier.
Yeah. Yeah. But I feel like the 3 and 4 are going to be very competitive this season, which is better for the regular season, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You don't want a lot of teams to be. You don't want a super shitty team that gives everyone else a free win, and then another team at the top taking a win. So you basically play 5 weeks. It's too high variance for me.
hmm
So I feel like this season will be a lot of interesting to watch. And I feel like a lot of the questions that we have about a lot of these teams, the answers are going to obviously surprise us. And then some of us will look like gods for predicting either the rise or fall of some of these teams.
True.
Yeah.
All right, power rank these guys. What if I just made a new new spreadsheet? How does this show up on my OBS? Yeah, you can see all
I'm not
that.
gonna watch.
You can see all that. All right, let's rank these guys. Oh, Darkrai sent me a DM. Gotta hop off. That was like half an hour ago. Just now saw it. All right. So, do you want to all do separate power rankings or like put them together?
We can do separate, I guess.
Well, the way I'm doing it is I'm making a tier list. So I have 1, 2, 3, and then I'm just gonna chime in with where I think everyone should go on the fly. So I guess however you want to do it.
So you have like a S tier, A tier.
No, I have a 1, a tier 1, a tier 2, and a tier 3.
All right. Then let's do this. Sure, this will work out. Tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. And then we can just do this to section it off. Alright, who's in your tier 1?
There were 2 teams that I have here in tier 1. I have the Armory and the Thieves. I feel like those 2 teams, to me, check off a lot of the boxes on my list where you have a strong top 4 to get the bulk of your wins and the depth necessary to pick up 1 to 2 extra wins per week. So I feel like those teams will consistently perform well in every week that they're playing. And I would consider them either favorites or 50-50 going into most weeks.
Can I do this? No, it doesn't show.
I'm not even looking at what you're doing.
I'm trying to make it better for the stream. It's all good. Alright, but anyways, tier 2, who's like the middle of the pack?
I have Band, I have CC, I have the Nightclub, I have... That's it, actually.
That's it? Alright.
That's it, yeah.
So Band, Cabal, and Nightclub. That makes sense.
And then...
That's like pretty much what I agree with.
And then I have Trick of Eye and the Walkers in tier 3. Wait, do I have the Walkers in tier 3?
Yeah, that's where you kind of lost me there, I think.
Actually, I'm sure. Hold on. No, let's put them in tier 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I'm missing a team. Yeah, put the Walkers in tier 2. I think I'm on my phone. I'm not really writing on a piece of paper. I'm old.
It's all good.
What's the team I'm missing? Oh, Mad Men is in tier 3. Sorry. Wait, do I have Mad Men tier 3? Oh, Nightclub is tier 2. Yeah, Mad Men tier 3 with Trick of Eye, and then I have Walkers, Nightclub, Band, and CC in tier 2.
All right. Pretty reasonable. Then, how about Dougal? What do you think? You want to just do like 1 through 8, or do you want to do tiers?
Yeah, I'll do like 1 through 8. So like for the top spot, like I kind of been thinking like Phantom Feeds and Armory, but just because I know like you're gonna pick yourself as number 1, I'll go with Phantom Feeds as number 1, and
and I also won like TDT with them, so
Yeah,
I can
that's
put them
fair.
at 1 for now. Yeah, I think like the top 2 teams are close enough anyway that it doesn't matter that much.
Right. Prehistoric
Uh,
dropping this week. Get your fossil asses ready. Yeah. So Metronome is in my chat now. That's the guy I do all the songs with. We're releasing pretty early this week. Hopefully Monday, maybe Tuesday, but definitely no later than that. It's a fossil themed song. It's gonna be great.
I got pinged 29 times by Undead to be ready for fantasy.
Yeah, that's my goat. And you said Armory next?
Yeah, I mean like I think they're close enough that it doesn't matter, so I'll just do it that way.
Yeah.
Then the third spot, I think Band is the third best team, and I don't think they're too far behind the other top teams. You know, like I wouldn't be like terribly shocked if they ended up on the top of the standings.
I feel like they shouldn't be all caps. Oops. Band. So.
Yeah, I think they just like have like a really strong like top 4, and like I think their captains are like really great as players and it's like prep. So I think they're like I think they're definitely the third team.
All right.
So like the next part, this is kind of like the middle. Like I think they're good teams. Yeah. So, but I expect them to like really compete for a playoff spot. So I think next, I think I would have. I think I'm debating like between like I think Chrome is. Yeah, I think it's got to be Chrome. I think they're 4th.
All right.
And 5th, I think I would go with. I think 5th through like 6 or whatever doesn't matter. So I'll just go with Nature's Madman. Then Nightclub, then Dreamwalkers. But like these teams, like I think they're like the same tier. Like
I think Madmen, Nightclub, and then the Walkers.
yeah, but they're like the same caliber of team to me. So like the order doesn't matter that
And that
much.
puts Trikovai at 8th for you?
Yeah. Are we
Alright.
missing one?
No, that's all 8.
Oh, okay, yeah.
All right, so who's
Yeah,
number
I
8?
think we'll go with that. Trick of Eye for me.
Who's number 7?
Walkers.
Yeah, Walkers.
Oh, so I got bullied. I got peer pressure into putting them in tier 2, but they end up 7th. Okay.
Well, this is my list.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm gonna put
okay.
them higher for sure.
6.
All
6
right.
I had Nightclub. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I had like my 5 through 7 as like pretty much like in the same tier for me. So
Yeah.
These 3 guys, yeah. All right, my turn, bruh.
Okay. Who do you have at 8?
Armory is number 1. Armory. Then I think the Thieves have to be
Self-Glaze?
number
That's
2.
crazy.
Yeah, you have to believe in yourself.
Okay, who's number 2?
The Thieves for sure.
Oh, PT. Okay.
Yeah, Phantom Thieves.
Okay.
Then let's see. Third, I'm kind of looking at Cabal and Low-Key Walkers. I rate them a lot higher than you do.
okay.
Yeah, I think that depends on like how much you value the top 4 versus the depth of the roster. 'Cause
Yeah.
if you're going depth of the roster, I can see them going up the rankings a bit more. Me personally, I have an opposite view. That's why they're a little lower on my end.
Yeah, that's also fair, right? And
Yeah.
also, it is just power rankings. The
Yeah.
points don't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I have to put Cabal first. Cabal, Walkers, and then Band. That's my top 5. Personally, I think there's a tier right here and a tier right here. So top 2, middle 3. Then there's definitely a bottom 3 in my eyes. So
Okay.
Nightclub, Madman, and Trick of Eye. I think probably Nightclub first, Let me see. Do I actually believe what I'm saying right here?
Hold on, it's come up in fantasy.
You're up in fantasy. You
Yeah,
should
let me
pick. You should pick. I don't know. You should pick up
Should I just get
Scribble.
Habita? Habita's available.
You should get Haba then, yeah.
Okay.
Anyways. Nightclub and Madman are pretty close, in my opinion. It's hard to say exactly.
Pi is watching the stream and he's like, why are you asking for advice on the stream?
Shout out II. I'm gonna go Nightclub first.
Wait, is I in the stream?
I don't know, is that what you just said?
Oh no, I said Pi.
Oh, Pi. I heard I.
Oh, sorry. They kind of sound the same.
I think I'm gonna do this. So I have Armory number 1, Thieves number 2, Cabal number 3, the Walkers number 4, Band number 5, Nightclub number 6, Madmen at 7, and then Trick of Eye last.
Okay. Should I make an 8 now?
You can if you want, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna be a contrarian. I'm gonna put the Thieves at 1.
Okay.
I'm gonna be IA at 2. I'm gonna go Cabalians at 3. This is where now we might get a little different because I'm gonna put Band at 4. Nightclub at 5. Walkers at 6. Madmen 7. And then Trick of Eye last.
Yeah. So we only agree on one thing, is that Trick of Eye sucks.
Well, it's not that I feel like
They
the
suck.
execution is not there
Yeah, yeah.
for their team, unfortunately. And it's a shame because I love those guys,
hmm
but I don't know. I'm not a believer.
They'll have to convince us during the season. That's
Yes.
all it is.
And typically the team that gets rated in last place overperforms anyway.
hmm
So maybe that's my gift to them.
We're doing
is
our
just-
best to help them out.
Yeah, is giving them the boost, the buff of 8th place. I mean, it worked for the PZZ team last DPL, so let's go.
Yeah, it did. They were like universally last, pretty much. Except for like a few people had them a little bit higher at like 6th. You know?
Yeah.
And then they went crazy. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah. And then you have your tiers here and there. Top 2, middle 4, bottom 2.
Yeah, that's for me.
I mean, we done tiers for the 2 of us. Dougal, if you want to add like tier breaks, you can.
So like I have like 4 tiers. So like the
Oh.
top 2 teams in the tier. Then,
Did
like
you just put Trick of Eye in their own tier?
yeah,
Oh
actually,
no.
That's fine.
Is it
We understand.
like 4?
I have like it's like okay, I have Thieves Armory in a tier. Then I have Band in a tier of their own. Oh no, I'm stupid. Never mind. Bands with Cabal, and then Madmen, Nightclub, and Walkers are in a tier, and then Trick of Eyes in a tier.
I see.
So basically, the difference is that you two believe more in Madman than I do. That's pretty much what I got.
I have them at like 5 through like 7, so that to me is like just outside the playoff. So
I have mine in the bottom tier, so
Yeah, I have mine. I have them in like I don't expect them to compete. That's kind of how I have my tiers done. Tier 1 is like I expect them to be in the playoffs. Tier 3 is I expect them to compete for a playoffs, or Tier 2 I expect you to compete for a playoff spot, and then Tier 3 is I don't expect you to be in playoffs.
yeah, I kind of went the same way. Whereas like
I kind of
if Nightclub, Madman, Trickify, any of them make playoffs, I'd be like, wow, that's a good on them, you know.
Yeah.
But these other top 5, they're definitely aiming for playoffs. If they don't get it, then they're gonna be disappointed. That's the way I see it. PokeFan says this might be the first team that K-Crick captain is not considered universally first in power rankings.
It's because he didn't get me this time.
Yeah, true. If he had Greg, instant one.
I mean, he's
Right.
still like ranked like really highly by us though. So like we all
Yeah,
expect
even
him
like
to
you
be
might
in the
say
playoffs.
that. Yeah, you might say it's not a universally accepted view that he's going to be a lock for playoffs, but like he's in our 3-4 slot for literally all 3 of us. Like we don't doubt the
Yeah.
team. It's just
Above average.
it's a bit of
Right.
yeah. It's not broken for once. I would quote unquote broken
Yeah,
because I don't feel like you could have a broken roster. Well, the only way to break a roster is if you have your min bid players or your low bid players outperform their value. That's when a roster becomes broken.
True, yeah. Alright, I think that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah, I would say so. We covered everything.
Yep. Was that like
Hey,
an
real
hour
quick,
and a half
I-
stream?
I think we should all pick a random person to win MVP. I think that
Oh,
could
pick
be
out
fun.
MVPs?
Yeah,
Alright.
Per
That could
gen
be-
or overall?
I just meant overall. If you want to do per gen,
I think
Sure.
per gen is easier because I feel
Okay.
like it's a lot harder to do a solo MVP.
I got one more
Like,
slice of
those-
pizza in me.
Oh, I didn't get JCM Shadow. Fuck. I could have picked him. That would have been a
Oh,
better pick.
true.
This is what I get for not being on stream.
Alright. Am I able to pick someone on my team for the MVP?
if you want to, yeah. But like,
I feel like
I
that would
think
be
if like
too biased.
I would say just for diversity's sake, you shouldn't.
okay, I was just gonna say like once like somebody picks something, like nobody else could get them, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could like pick our MVPs and then our steal of the draft.
Okay.
Sure.
So if it's not on my team, I'm gonna say the MVP is Shadow.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
gonna do that too.
Should have talked faster.
It's your stream.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, you should have let your guest pick first.
All right. Well,
Greg, you can go next.
Okay. I am gonna go. I'm gonna go with Hunter.
ooh, 2 Phantom Thieves so far.
Yeah,
I'm gonna-
I feel.
Oh.
Yeah, I feel
Go
like
ahead.
Hunter is gonna have a great performance. I feel like it's easier when when you're not a captain to get MVP, and I think that the Hunter Shadow connection is actually a really strong one in terms of like stylistics, like in terms of how you approach prep. And Hunter, obviously, great player, so I feel like Hunter is gonna really excel this season. He's my pick for MVP.
All right.
I'm going with Gorex. Like, I think he's been doing like really strong in like
Oh my god.
tournaments, and yeah, and like I think he's on like a team where he can just succeed with like K-Crick and to help him with prep.
So,
So
little
he's my
story
pick.
about Forex. I just
Yeah.
met Forex, and the first thing he says to me is "big fan," and he posts a replay of him using a cloister.
Yo,
All right. That's
I am
fire.
already
That's
already in
fire.
love. He's
is.
my new goat. That's the best pick.
Nice, nice. All right. Then steal of the auction.
should I go first since like so
Yeah,
it's
you can
safe
go
style?
first, and then I'll go last.
Uh, Hmm. This isn't one like I thought about like as much, so
Yeah.
What's the threshold we're using? Because it's a little different.
Steal the draft. So like I'm gonna
Yeah.
assume like
Let's
less
call it
than
under 8. Whatever.
okay under 8. Oh, I'll go Jay Scruff. I like that guy. I
Jay
think he
Scruff?
could be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see it. I can see it.
I'm gonna stick with the Thieves, and I'm gonna go with Tid Vicious,
All right.
BGC.
Let's see.
I like how my opening line about Phantom Thieves was talking shit, and then I already
Yeah.
I'm just picking their-
Talking shit into immediate glaze.
seriously.
Man. If I could say my own team,
No,
yeah, I would say like multiple
can,
players
because
on
no-
my team.
he's like, well, nobody's picked my team yet, so I have-
Yeah. Let him pick somebody on his team.
I'm gonna
Go ahead,
go
L5.
Nick 6564.
Okay.
and tell the chat why you believe that.
He's the GOAT. 7K
Why?
for the GOAT is a steal. His prep is like super creative. You can never like expect what he brings, and like that's helpful because I like to build a lot of standard. So like if something isn't working for me, I can ask him. He got me with that heat tech that no one's gonna see coming. You know what I mean?
I see.
It's a unique approach to like SV to anything really.
It really is.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm getting pinged in by a bunch of people. Might be my turn in fantasy.
Yeah, it is. They seem quite upset. Even I got a thing.
Hey Greg, you gotta pick.
Yeah, I have to pick. They're just crying, dude. Okay, someone took like literally 8 minutes to make a pick, and they're all crying about me joining the drafts and shit.
That's tough, man. Where's
Let
the
me see who's
quality?
available. Pi, where's the doc at? I don't know where the doc is. Well, the stream's about to end, right? I'm assuming. Or I guess this is my goodbye. Yeah, I'm gonna leave the stream so I can go, not get yelled at by undead. So I hope that you all have a nice day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good job, everyone. Good luck this season, and take care, guys.
See ya.
See ya. Alright, you gonna head out pretty soon?
Yeah, I thought we were like done anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Alright, see ya.
I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.
Alright, now it's just me. Now that Greg's gone, you agree our team's the best, right? Yurduk's team? Nature's Madman? Nope, I don't think so. This is my rankings. And, yeah. Arg. Yeah, I wasn't actually just putting on a show for Greg, unfortunately. This is so sad. If I couldn't pick someone on my team, I would probably say Michael is probably a steal at 6K. But yeah, I gotta glaze my teammates, you know how it is. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. The drafts are like very at the beginning parts, so not really much to talk about here. Yeah. Put my mind to. Good music, right? You like the background music? Check it out. It's all from my channel, Pokemon Raps. There's a new one coming out this week, so stay tuned for that. Subscribe. Yeah. All right, that's gonna be it for the stream. See you guys later.